Looking at, the years you've been doing this, what have been some of the highlights for you?
Highlights. It's weird. I feel like I have a hard time looking back and seeing things that I've done as quote unquote achievements. It's gonna sound corny, but I think the biggest highlight's been just people I've met along the way. Like some of my best friends are people I've met through work. Like Pestily and I met him because one of my mods set up a play date straight up for Among Us, and he's
Yeah.
become such a good friend. And it's just kind of crazy to think about. And then through him, I met like one of my other best friends, Lexi, and Julie and Chris, all those guys. And it's fun. But the highlight, yeah, I don't know. I really just feel like it's been people that I've met. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, on the pod, we start with 3 random questions. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. First one. You're starting out on a journey. Who are you taking with you? R2D2 or C3PO?
I'm taking R2 because that little dude saves everyone all
He
the
has a
time.
way to do that. Yep. Absolutely. All right. You walk into a room. What is the theme song that's playing? What's your
I
theme song?
I actually just had to answer this for the Pestily thing I did in
Oh, yep.
Australia, and I chose the song that plays when Voldemort's entering.
Yep.
It's dramatic.
Yeah. All right. There we go. And a final question. All right. You're flying somewhere. Are you a window or an aisle person?
I'm gonna go with it depends on the flight length because if it's a long flight, I need to be in the aisle because I pee a lot. My bladder's
All right.
small.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast. So, first of all, where does the name come from?
So a long time ago, back in the Twitch days, right after it switched from Justin TV, I had the name Bear Kitty with three T's. It was like an inside joke, kind of a meme.
Yeah.
And I started streaming and taking streaming seriously. I was like, I should probably rebrand to something. So I didn't want to change it up too much because I had built a bit of a following. So I just cut some of the letters off.
So, recently, like you were just saying, you were in Australia with Pestily. How was that event?
It was really interesting. I kind of felt like a zombie after I left. I mean, you're in a house for 5 days with strangers. You don't have any outside contact really. I got your mic'd up 24/7. So it was weird walking out after because I was so used to being like, hey, production, what time is it? Or production, what's going on with this?
Yeah.
And having like someone on a God speaker responding to me, uh,
Wow.
going back outside. I didn't think 5 days would make that much of a difference, but it was kind of crazy. It was a good time though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's got to be a strange experience. You're always watched, always listened to. Yeah. That's something you can
Yeah.
really get read. Nothing that really prepares you for something like that.
Yeah, I had chosen my bed spot strategically to be like off camera because I was like, I really don't want to sleep on stream.
No. So now, what was the overall? Was it like a simulation of the Big Brother event, essentially?
So initially that's how Pesta described it to me and I said no, I'm not going because I'm 32 and I was like I'm not I'm not built for that.
Right.
Um, but he said it's more like a wholesome Big Brother. It was meant to be uplifting and just to have us get to know each other and have the viewers have a way to get to know some of their favorite content creators
Yeah.
in a different setting, ideally. So I wouldn't really compare it to Big Brother because we didn't really have drama. We didn't have
Yeah.
people trying to backstab each other. At the end, we were all trying to figure out how to vote for each other to
Yeah.
keep people around as long as we could. Um, but yeah, I don't
And
know. I
now,
really don't know how to describe it properly.
it came down to you and Baddie in the end.
It
Yeah.
was it was Baddie and I, and he skamazed it. He was like, "Oh, I'll split the money with everyone if you guys vote for me." Freaking typical.
Oh, and now, did you when it was over, did you enjoy any, get to do any touristy events or anything like that?
I didn't get to stay as long as I wanted to. I did get to hold a koala, which was sick. I got to run around the Sydney airport. So fun. I got to see the city from afar. I'm gonna go back though.
As a content creator, how long were you gone for?
I think it ended up being 8 days with travel because the the flight, dude, is 17 hours. I
Oh,
was
dear lord.
dying.
I'm assuming you had an aisle seat then for that?
I actually okay, I got super lucky. On the plane, I got that seat that has the wall in front of it, so you have extra leg
Oh,
room even though
yep.
you're still in economy, and the 2 people I sat next to were super nice, and they both, like, were chilling with their legs up against the wall, and I slept under their legs. I
Oh
got on the
my
floor and tried to get some sleep.
god. Awesome. Who was Berkey before you found the live button?
Same person, but I worked at an ad agency. I mean, I played games on the side growing up. I played games with pals and my on my PC, and then streaming was just kind of something I started doing for fun and while I was working my ad agency job, but yeah, nothing really crazy different.
So you have an artistic or creative background. I think I saw either you drawing on some video you guys made at one point, some like meme video about addiction or
I was like, am I allowed to talk about that? Yeah, on my YouTube there's a video. I like filming short little fun little things. If you're curious about it, you can check it out. I do have an artistic side. I really didn't love working at the ad agency though. It was a lot of having to just do what other people thought looked best,
yeah.
like clients. And at the end of the day, you have to go with what clients want, even if they're wrong. I'm happy to be out of that world.
From a video game standpoint, you said you started gaming early. What were some of the video games you started playing?
My earliest game that I can really remember playing was GoldenEye. My uncle had it and I was obsessed with it. And I still get so freaked out every time I look at gameplay footage of that game because I wonder how the hell anyone was aiming or doing anything because it's just blobs on the screen.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I grew up on that. I grew up on like Spyro, Donkey Kong, all of those classic good ones.
Yeah. And now when did you switch over to PC gaming?
Honestly, pretty late on. I didn't not till I was 24.
And now what were some of the PC games that that sucked you in?
Honestly, I played a lot of Fortnite whenever that first came out. That's actually I think probably the first game I streamed. And then Souls games for the most
Yeah.
part.
Nice. And then looking back over, all the games you've played, what are some of the top ones that still are warm to you?
I'm still a sucker for Souls games. I won't play them on stream anymore because the Souls community is probably one of the worst communities on
Is it
Twitch.
really?
Yeah, dude. They remind me of finance bros. Like know it all, like, can't believe you missed that shard back there. Is this your first time? I'm like, dude, chill. It's just a
Okay.
game. Just super backseaty.
Yeah.
It's always like that. Not to say there's not the good ones. There's definitely good eggs in the community, but it can be pretty overwhelming.
What made you hit that go live button to begin with?
I was just playing with some pals and making them laugh, and they suggested that I try it, and I did, and I wasn't terrible at it. I just kept doing it and just slowly kind of building up a brand of some sort.
Those first few streams, you had strangers coming in, like, that's a unique experience for a lot of people.
Yeah, I so in 2014, like I said, whenever I first made my account, I streamed for 2 weeks. This is back when I was living in Colorado. I was just snowboarding every day, come home, play League of Legends. I streamed it a little bit. I did not have very thick skin back then.
Yeah.
You know how men are on the internet
Mhm.
sometimes. It was brutal, and I was just like, I don't know why anyone would do this for a living, so I just quit. And then whenever I actually started again after playing with some pals, uh it was a lot better, and I was a lot more equipped mentally for it.
Yeah.
So it was weird. There were people, one of my mods actually, one of my longtime mods, he came into my stream by asking me to eat a spoonful of mayonnaise. Like that was his idea of trolling, I guess. I didn't really
Okay.
understand it. Maybe there's some background joke I don't get. But you would just get weird shit like that all the time.
Yeah.
Wait, am I allowed to say shit?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. because I think I said it a few times.
We had Hutch on the other day, and Hutch was
Oh, I
dropping
can
F-bombs,
just
so you're
freaking go crazy.
absolutely.
Okay, cool, 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 cool.
Yeah.
666.
So, yeah, so over the years, what have been some of the hardest things about hitting that go live button?
Burnout. I think it's the same thing with every streamer that kind of happens at some point. You're giving so much of yourself to your community and just to being online in general. I think the biggest thing that viewers maybe don't think about as often is the work doesn't stop when you're live. You're like, you have to be active on socials. You have to be gathering clips for editors. You have to be editing. You have to be posting. You have to be reaching out for sponsorship opportunities. Like, there's just so much that goes into it. So there are days when I wake up and I have so much back end stuff I need to get done that hit and go live and trying to pretend to not be stressed or overwhelmed and to just kind of, leave personal
Yeah,
life or
disconnect, yeah.
off stream stuff. It's really tough. Like, my management has been a godsend. That's been super helpful for me to get over that, but I know not everyone has that opportunity. But yeah, over the years I think that's been the
Yeah.
biggest struggle.
Yeah, because it's so much more than just playing a video game on stream. First of all, if you're on camera, you've got to be that's another area that needs focus too, and you can't be miserable. Nobody wants to watch somebody who's not happy, streaming.
Yeah.
Looking at the years you've been doing this, what have been some of the highlights for you?
Highlights. It's weird. I feel like I have a hard time looking back and seeing things that I've done as quote unquote achievements. It's gonna sound corny, but I think the biggest highlight's been just people I've met along the way. Like, some of my best friends are people I've met through work. Like Pestily and I met him because one of my mods set up a play date straight up for Among Us, and he's
Yeah.
become such a good friend. And it's just kind of crazy to think about. And then through him, I met like one of my other best friends, Lexi, and Julie and Chris, all those guys. And it's fun. But the highlight, yeah, I don't know. I really just feel like it's been people that I've met, and I've obviously been given these great opportunities like drops, rivals events. Rivals is iffy on if it's going to be a highlight or not because it's such a shit show. But I get to do those, and it's a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And now for from a Twitch partner standpoint, what is your partner story?
Um, I actually got partnered on Hunt Showdown.
Oh,
I played. Oh, I obviously like to play a variety of things. Tarkov, since I started playing Tarkov, kind of consumed my life, but I still do play a variety of things. Hunt is a really interesting FPS game. I just got super burnt out on it because I grinded it so hard. Like, I didn't
yeah.
play anything else when I was playing Hunt, and I got partnered, and I kind of just quit playing Hunt. I think I swapped to Tarkov pretty quickly after.
Yeah. Ah. Now, do you remember where you were? Was it like you got the calls, like, people around you had no idea what, Twitch partner was? And
No, it wasn't anything really that exciting on it.
yeah,
Like, I knew I was gonna get it. It was a matter of time. It was like back when I got partnered, it was kind of like they would deny you twice unless you had like 2000 CCV.
yeah.
Um, they deny you twice and then they'd give you the acceptance. And I was on
Okay.
my third application and I was like, here we go. And it was just an email. Like, they didn't do anything fun where they like came
Yeah.
into my chat. They were just like, here you go, bitch.
And now for you, you said you were streaming Hunt, you got burnt out on that. A lot of creators struggle switching games for the fear of losing the viewership and everything like that. How hard was that for you to, transition your games? Did your community just stick with you?
I would love to say yes. A lot of them did. Some of them did. Shout out to the ones that did. But yeah, it unless you establish yourself early on as a variety streamer, it is really really difficult. That's why I've tried to incorporate different games, but Tarkov is one of those things where it's really consuming until you hit certain goals.
Yeah.
It's also super easy to make content with. Um, but yeah, I didn't have a ton of people stick around. I still have people that come in and just say, "When are you gonna play Hunt again?" Even though I haven't really played it in a long time.
Yeah. When you first hit that go live button, was there a certain moment that came or a certain event that you realized I can take this full time, or was this a gradual increase in viewership?
I am gonna be honest. I had a great job before I decided to go full time. I was blessed and able to put a pretty good amount of money in my savings account. And I was just at a point where I was like, if I don't do this now, I never will. So I just quit and took my savings, moved somewhere cheaper because I was living in LA at the time, and saved and just kind of streamed. So I was able to just kind of full send it because I knew I would put a lot of time and effort into it. There wasn't ever a moment where I was like, oh, I'm at 100. Like maybe I can be full time. It was
Yeah.
just kind of I'm doing it.
And you're still here.
Yeah, thank God, because that would have really sucked.
And something a lot of people don't realize, as a full-time content creator, you're like it's a small business. You don't have healthcare, you don't have vacation. You've got to try to build this in while you grind and, keep your viewership up.
Yeah, when I was in Australia, I was really bummed when I came home because I saw my sub count. And I was like, fuck. It's wild. You can be gone for a week. Even being gone for a few days stresses me out. You'll be gone for a few days. People find another streamer they like slightly more, and then bam, they're gone forever. Like it's a competitive world we live in. But yeah, it is. I really would love to have paid vacation or not stress about not streaming, I guess, when I'm gone.
Yeah, that's something I've talked to a lot about with a lot of other creators is if there is some way, whether it's the streaming platforms like Twitch, that, when you reach a certain level from a content creation standpoint, there's either some sort of insurance you can buy into along with, some days that sort of compensate you on the back end.
That would be so sick. Please, someone make that a thing. Anyone that's smarter than me, which is a lot of you, but just help. Help.
From a, streaming standpoint, what advice or recommendation would you give to somebody who's looking to hit that go live button?
My advice for someone who wants to go live, it takes consistency. Establishing a schedule is something I wish I had done earlier on because when you're consistent and people know when they can find you, when you don't have a really big community yet, it makes a world of a difference. As soon as I made a schedule, I started just doing way better because people knew when I would be around. Patience. Don't go and do the follow for follow shit. Don't join those communities that are like, oh, if you watch this streamer, like they'll watch you back. Like find genuine people that want to be in your community and you can network and you can have friends that'll help you out and not be scummy about it. You can do it in an honest, genuine way. And all that is just making friends. And if your friends want to be there and show up, you can. I personally am terrible about it. I don't watch anyone stream off stream, but that's just a work-life balance thing that I've established for myself. But back before, I mean, I was trying to hype up my pals as much as I could, but never expect anything ever, because that's when you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Excellent advice. Hit a good point here about, making good friends and whatnot. I had Deadly Slob on a while ago, and he was talking about having peers like the Marksman team with Marks from Cotton, Katie, and they were able to talk about some of the struggles they have that other people don't understand, their IRL friends don't understand, and be able to bounce ideas off. And that's important to have. Like, I see your tweets, you're hanging out with Ames, and you've got a good group of people around you, Baddie, Talon, Jay. That's really important to have those people around you so that you can work ideas off of.
Yeah, it's super important. It is weird. I feel for the people that kind of are separated from it, like if they live far and all the people they hang out with online aren't necessarily around them, because it is a whole lot different just being able to be face to face and have people to bounce ideas off of and just joke around while you're hanging out, and then boom, some content idea comes up out of it. But I also really appreciate the people in my life that have literally no idea what I do for a living, because they're like not interested in finding out because it's beyond them.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of good ideas off of them too, just based on their lack of knowledge in this space. It's also good to just to have a break, dude. Like there are times where like we've had I've had friends that are like, "Oh, do you want to go to do this all together?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then someone brings up streaming it and I'm like, "I'm not going." Like
Yeah.
I want to chill. I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to do
You want
content
that
right now.
separation.
I need it. I need separation for my
Yeah.
own mental health.
And also, it sounds like you like the outdoors, skateboarding, snowboarding. So you like to have that, that disconnect as well.
Yeah, I actually suck at skateboarding. I wish I was good at it, but I am terrible. I love snowboarding. I love I hate that I live in Texas and I don't really get to do it often anymore.
Yeah, I think I saw some pictures you took when you were out in LA of skateboarding, and they were fantastic.
I was photographing a skater that skates in Santa Monica actually, or in Venice. But yeah, I used to do a bit of photography. I now use my photography camera for stream. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it kind of took over. My boyfriend has a bunch of really really cool old school film cameras. So I mostly shoot with those now.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I get my other creative outlets that aren't just on stream.
All right, so Tarkov, what was your path to this game that has, consumed thousands of hours for us?
So back when I was playing Hunt, someone had gifted me Tarkov and told me to try it. I kind of looked at some of the streams and I said, this game looks terrible. I don't want to play that at all. I think it was a sub goal to try it at some point, and I ended up booting it up. I genuinely don't know how I met Nixia, but she is one of the first people I played with, and she taught me like everything. I think I played with her, Gingy, Jay, and I do not know how I met them. Like I've been trying to remember because I don't know if a different content creator had to have introduced us, and yeah, I was lucky. I had someone that was willing to teach me. I mean, Nyx is
Yeah.
such a good Sherpa. She's willing to, dive in front of bullets for you while you're just trying to figure out how to heal properly.
Yeah. And add in that she's funny as hell too.
She is very, very funny.
And now, what was the hook the game had on you that, years later, here you are still playing it?
Initially, it was just tasks. I'm a really big task-oriented person in games. I love the little dopamine hit when you complete something. I liked leveling. I liked having a goal. Now I hate tasking, and I just like VoIP a lot.
Yeah.
So I just love running around with a Mosin trying to VoIP people. So luckily I had the tasking hook initially. It literally changed the game for
It
me.
really did. Yeah.
Yeah. There was still obviously good ways to make content with it, but it's just completely changed now for the better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
People have been using VoIP a lot less, it feels, over the past new wipe and then the wipe before, but it's still really, really good.
Yeah, it's funny how, when wipe first happens, everybody's so helpful. Everybody's VoIPing more than, when you get about mid or late, it's like, VoIPing seldom happens unless they're just, talking trash.
Yeah. Usually those are the best encounters though. When I've seen whenever
Yeah.
you either have people that are really nice or just really big shitters, and there's not really like a good in between.
No, it's true. And now for you, what was the hardest thing to learn about playing this game?
The hardest thing to learn, probably to just stop re-peeking the same angle because I still haven't learned it. I'm so stubborn sometimes. I'm just like, yeah, I can do it one more time. It's fine.
And now what advice would you have for somebody firing it up for the first time?
Don't re-peek the same
Yeah.
angle. Learn how to rotate. Don't get discouraged. You're gonna get shit on. Don't have gear fear. That's like a really big one I feel like people still really struggle with, because early wipe, if you find a slick dude, just put it on. Like go run around, tank some stuff.
I think something that brings all of us together is just how hard this game is, and we all are on, like, we all suffer together, and I think that's part of the reason why the communities, we have a good community here.
Yeah. We are all suffering together. Zeetram and I last night were playing Ground Zero because we're trying to enjoy it before we're not supposed to go back.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to help other people suffer so we could do it together.
And now after, going through so many wipes, do you still get any adrenaline rushes?
Oh yeah. Whenever my friends die and I'm the last one alive, but that's mostly because I really don't want them to lose their gear because I'll feel guilty. So I just
Yeah.
automatically start. I'm just an anxious person though. So if you put pressure on me in any way, shape, or form, my adrenaline's. I'm like, oh God, okay, here we go.
And now, speaking of playing with friends, who's the normal crew that you're rolling the Tarkov with?
Oh, I play with everyone. People know not to expect shit from me. I'm not there to win. I'm there to get some good clips and VoIP my way into the world. So because of that, I luckily have been able to play with like so many different people that are just down to take a break and kind of mess around. But I play a lot with Jesse, Jay, Velian, Gingy. I've been playing with Stankrat lately, and it's been hilarious. Um,
Yeah, because he has a certain style, and he's not shy about being that style of player.
no, and he shouldn't be. It's like
Exactly.
it's a phenomenal thing he's created. It's wonderful. But yeah, that Mags. There's so many people.
And now the sort of a unique thing with playing this game with different people, everybody sort of has different callouts. I mean, when you're on different maps, you have Triangle Face with her unique, colorful things of describing a thing, and Sniper Building on Reserve. It's somebody's. I think Nixia has unique names too, like Harry Potter reference for some callouts on the maps.
Yeah,
Always interesting.
yeah, that's always fun. Is just trying to listen to everyone's different names for everything, and now I just feel like I have multiple call outs for every rock in the game, so that's
Yeah.
fun. Jay and Reef and all them literally named all the rocks I think on woods, and they'll say them sometimes and I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude, but I'm over here.
And now, for post wipe, what's your strategy? Do you quest right now, or you're just, rolling along and see where it takes you?
I usually just west until flee. And then if I have a friend that's heavily tasking and I happen to have a task, I'll do it. But I usually just kind of run around with a Mosin.
And now, something unique about this game is your stash. Now, as a streamer, do you sort of take care of your stash offline, or it's just a part of the Bearki experience?
Oh, I used to. Whenever I first started playing, I used to clean my stash offline and get it all nice and perfect. That way, the next day I would be able to just kind of make a mess again and not really have to pause. Now I can't stand opening the game off stream because I don't want to clean it. So I just kind of, but I've made a little thing where like I spend the first bit of stream talking to chat and cleaning my stash, getting ready for the day.
And that's Pestily when he's on. He talked about how sort of Tarkov is that perfect game to stream because you have all these sort of moments where you can interact with chat. Then you have those moments of in game where it's sort of focused on you, and then when that those tense moments are over, you can come back to chat, and it's unique compared to other games.
Yeah, I was talking to Jay about this actually yesterday, or no, Zchum, because he plays a lot of Rust. And he was complaining about the like loading time and stash time and all that. I was like, I've come to appreciate it because I find that I actually do talk to chat a lot more. It's a lot different than when I did play Hunt, and it was just constantly like you get into games pretty quick.
Yeah.
Well, depending. For the most part, you get in pretty quick. Or playing like Warzone or something where you're just it's nonstop mental energy.
Run die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, another thing with this game that I've found and talked to a lot of people, this game creates sort of flashbulb memories for you. Like I can remember the first few raids, the first time I TK'd somebody. How about you? Any memories that stick out, like some fun moments that are just still vivid in your head?
I don't know. I team kill so often that it's one of the a big fun one for me was Baddie and I were sniping on Lighthouse. I think it was the first wipe that it was out, and he was just kind of spotting, and I got like a 1,000-meter rogue shot, which was fun. It was just fun to watch because the bullet was so like, oh, it just fell on his head. I don't know. There's been a lot of really good stuff. I've had a lot of really fun VoIP encounters that have just been weird. I'm not a competitive player by any means, so I don't have any like really big wins that I was so excited about. It's just mostly been fun moments.
Yeah. And now something from a streaming standpoint that you really nothing prepares you for is when that big raid happens, whether you're a smaller streamer and all of a sudden somebody drops their giant house party in your, while you're live. Any memorable raids that happened for you?
Strangely enough, I got raided by Ninja when I was first starting out, but I was playing Sekiro,
Yeah.
so it wasn't his Fortnite squad. It was actually, it seemed like adults. So initially I was like, oh no, this is scary, but everyone was really, really nice. But I think that was probably the biggest raid I had ever had.
And
That
were
was
you
a
like
long time
really
ago.
caught off guard? All of a sudden, chats flying by, and you're like, oh my god, what do I do?
Yeah, they're doing that shit where they're like, she doesn't know, she doesn't know. Because I also was so new that I didn't have a button to kind of pause my alerts. So it was
Yeah.
just going ding, 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 ding in my ears. I was like, fuck.
And now, how would you describe a Bearki stream? What is somebody going to run into when they fire up your stream for the first time?
I feel like, again, it can swing week to week on, what my goals are content wise, but I try to interact with chat. I try to engage as much as I can. I think I'm just really focused on creating fun experiences in game for people to laugh at.
And now, on the tail end of that, how would you describe the Bearki community?
Old, got a lot of old people like me, so they're pretty chill, honestly. I've got a few youngins in here. One of my chat rules for a while was don't be like Trey 24K's chat. They're really relaxed, like they're respectful, and I think that's something that I enjoy about it. They're not, coming in here with some weird degen comment, but yeah, they're good for the most part.
From a female standpoint, streaming is not easy to begin with, but as a female content creator, it's at another level. You talked about, the other community was pretty toxic. Tarkov, from the female creators that have been on, they've talked about, Tarkov's been a good space for the most part. What's your experience been?
It's again, it kind of comes, it's a 50-50 kind of deal. I've become so numb to a lot of it that it's hard to decipher if it's Tarkov is more chill than whatever other community. You definitely still have people in game that are just like, oh, shut up, woman, or hurling some fucking old ass insult that they deem funny. I don't know. It's mostly exhausting because you're just like, fuck, dude, like get some new material, please. It would be so nice if you weren't like literally everyone else trying to do this. But I wouldn't say they're a lot different, to be honest. Okay, it depends on how old the person that you run into is, is where I'll put it. Usually that's like a good indicator on how the interaction's gonna go.
Yeah. All right. I see that you're part of the Creators Club. What is the Creators Club, and how did you get involved with them?
I had another management team before that was really great. I liked them a lot, but I didn't really play the same games as a lot of the people that they represented, even though a lot of my friends were represented by them. So I wasn't like as excited, I guess, about some of the sponsorship opportunities I was getting. And then I play with Trey and Aqua a lot, and they had both spoken really highly about their management. So I kind of just started looking, and yeah, that's how I got involved. And they offer a lot of stuff that I love, and they've been really good to me. So it's just been working out since then.
Awesome. Yeah, I've had Aqua and Trey on. I've had Kings has been on too as well. And Kings is just, you can tell he cares about the creators that are working, that he works with.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, even before this, like I messaged you, I was like, I'm not going to be at my PC. Like, I can't figure out this interview thing, or like what day it's going to be or how it's going to work, blah, blah, blah. And I had called Kings. I was like, can you please, like, what do I do? And he was like, I'll take care of it. Like superhero Kings comes in. And I was like, thank you. He really does care. He's awesome. And I can't think of a time where I haven't asked a question or something on Discord and he hasn't gotten back to me like immediately. So he's super present and just wants us to be doing well.
So now, speaking of the community, I saw recently you were playing some Magic the Gathering with Ames and Baddie. What was that experience like?
It's good. I'm not I am not nearly as into it as they are, but I've got a couple decks that I've messed around with. It's fun. It's a different kind of game, obviously, than what we normally play. There's a lot to it. And people I think whenever they start going like they're like, "Oh, well, I'm going to run this deck to counter these 3 cards that you have in your deck." That's when I start mentally checking out and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have what it takes to be doing this at all."
And now also I saw that you got to go shooting with Klean a while ago. How was that experience?
It was good. We were actually supposed to stream that, but Dorcas forgot the cable, so we didn't get to. But he's really great, good host. Can't remember how many different things I shot, but it was good. It was really really good. He's very knowledgeable. Taught me some important gun safety tips. Taught me how important it is to protect myself. It was a good
Yeah.
time though. I'll
That's-
probably I think I'll probably go back up again in the next few months.
And now was that your first time you actually shot some guns, or have you like, shot shotguns before?
No, I'm from Texas.
Okay.
I've been shooting since I was 7.
Also saw you shoot what was a 50 caliber sniper rifle with Baddie?
Yeah, that was crazy. There were 2 guns that Baddie had that I shot where I was like I knew it was gonna be painful because he walked up and stood behind me to
Yeah.
brace me, and I was like, "Oh fuck, my shoulder's gonna hurt tomorrow." It was yeah, the 50 cal and he had I don't remember what it's called, a space shotgun is what he had referred to it
Yeah.
as.
Now, is there anything out there you'd like to shoot that you haven't shot yet?
A Mosin, which I know will probably be very painful, but just because I really love the Mosin in pretty much anything I play.
And now I see you're also a part of a company called, or you have a relationship with Neat Dude. What are they?
Neat dude. That is my friend Chris Melberger and pals. They have a little stream team, just a tight knit, fun little community of people that I've gotten close to, and they also have a really cool merch line and products and stuff like that. It's just neat, dude.
There you go. Do you go out to any of the Twitch cons or PAX or Loot Fest? Do you attend those?
I did go to Loot Fest last year. It was good. It was a good time. Had a fun little meet and greet with Lupo and Amy, and I don't really go to PAX. Have I used to go to TwitchCon, but I haven't gone for the past couple of years. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
I think those can just be super, super overwhelming for me at times, but
Yeah.
I'll probably go to at least something this year.
Yeah, when it's your first one going, where you're sort of an established creator, it's a unique experience because you look to the left and here's your community looking up at you, and then you look over there and there's the sort of the people that you've watched over the years.
It's fun because because there's a lot of overlap too with, I mean, like Amy, Lupo, and I all shared a meet and greet because it was just a lot of overlap. So it was kind of fun just seeing, but then there were definitely people obviously that were just there for Amy or just there for Lupo or not really just there for me, which is understandable, but it was kind of fun watching them interact with people that were just like massive fans and stuff. And then other creators that were there too. We got recognized at one of the bars we went to, and it's just like funny having weird little interactions like that. Where you're like, oh, cool. Like, I don't know what to do because I'm in a social setting.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Now, I'm assuming you're a Star Wars fan from the R2D2 tattoo you have. Did you grow up as a Star Wars fan, or just later in life you discovered the movies and the series?
No, this tattoo is just really nostalgic, honestly. I grew up, if we had a road trip that we went on, every single time we're watching Star Wars every time. So it was just like a nostalgia piece. I honestly wouldn't even call myself a massive Star Wars fan. I like the original trilogy a lot. I'll still rewatch those, but past that, I'm kind of like, eh.
What is your favorite tattoo you've got, or they all have different meanings for them?
People ask about like the meanings behind my tattoos all the time, and some of them are, personal, and then some of them are I was 23 and on Xanax and I got it. So it's like I don't really have a favorite, but yeah, I don't know. It's placement wise, I like the one on my calf the most.
Now, did you design any of them, or they're all sort of ones that people created for you?
My artist that did the R2D2 one designed this with me, and then the rest I had created for me. I haven't put a lot of effort into artwork myself since that one.
Once you hit that, disconnect for the day, what happens after stream? Besides all the other content creation stuff that goes along with it, what are some things you like to do when you disconnect? Snowboarding, you said, is one of the things.
Right now, I'm learning Japanese, so I just try to do stuff on Duolingo, and I'll do that for an hour, and then I'll just kind of disassociate and stare at the ceiling and think about why I am the way that I am. And then it's usually bedtime after that.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we've made it to the end of the pod, and like with other guests, I asked them to call out somebody in your circle that you think would have a good story to come on.
Have you had Miss Magpie yet?
I have not, and you know what? I'll need you to sort of twist her arm a little bit because I think you're the third or fourth. I think Ames suggested her, Bazinga. So yeah, we'll have to tell her it's not that painful.
Okay, I'll do it. Mags would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a snowboarder too, isn't she?
She is actually, yeah. I invited her to go this year. I don't know if she's going to end up going or not.
And I think Ames is as well. I think when she was on, she talked about a snowboarding trip that she was on.
Really?
I'm not sure if yeah.
Oh, I did not know that Ames. Oh, she's just learning. I don't know. I didn't even know she had gone.
Seen snow.
I didn't know she's ever touched snow. That's crazy.
So, well, hey, Bearki, thank you so much for doing this. All right, you take care.
All right, bye.